I would like to thank everybody for joining the call today. Thank you so much. Our first guests of this call is a combination of TELYKast, TELYKAST, and Loren Gray. Collectively, together, they have a song out called Nobody to Love, which is starting to really blow up on the DSPs and on radio. PJ Augustine has been telling me we need to work this record to Mick shows, that he thinks it's a pop smash. So that, Loren and TELYKast, that you guys can see, we've got a combination of a lot of radio programmers, Mick show DJs on this call, many of whom are already supporting your song. TELYKast have over 100 million streams across the various platforms out there. They have worked with Alok, Griffin, Georgia Koo, Cascade, as I mentioned, Loren Gray. They've been featured in Dancing Astronauts, Substream Magazine, Ear Milk, Billboard. They had a TikTok campaign for a song called Daylight that got about 60,000 views. They've sold out every headline show they've done. So I'd like to welcome to the call TELYKast. And also, and we'll come back to you guys in a second, joining them is Loren Gray, the singer of the song. If you don't know who Loren is, you probably haven't gone on your computer in 35 seconds. 21 plus million Instagram followers, 52 million TikTok followers. I think she is one of the biggest TikTokers in the world with 2.8 billion likes, almost 4 million subscribers to her YouTube channel. And 2 days ago, she turned 19. So please welcome to the call, Loren Gray and TELYKast. Hey, so thank you so much both for joining. Let's start with TELYKast first. Capital TELK, small AST. TELYKast, tell us where the name comes from and how you guys met.
So, yeah, actually, Linus and I moved to LA about 7 years ago, literally like 2 weeks ago to the date. And prior to moving out to LA, I hadn't started a music project, and I was just writing words forward, backwards, trying to come up with a creative name. And I actually just wrote my first name, which is Kyle, last name Tonoli, backwards. So it's Kyle T. And then I just literally flipped it around, and I was like, how can I make that? I was like, this looks cool. How can I elaborate off that? So it's now kind of turned into like TELYKast, which is like broadcast, broadcasting our music. And the cool thing is now between all of us, it has all of our initials, and people have pointed out cool things about it, but that is the origin form of how it kind of started.
Yeah, we love like playing guitar, obviously, like on our songs. So like Telecaster is like another thing that like, goes along with it. So
definitely no Teletubbies, right?
Yeah. I've heard that one too.
All right, so Kyle, you're from Dallas. Trevor, you're from LA. Linus, you're from New York. How did the three of you meet to form TELYKast?
Yeah, so
I'm from New York City, and me and Kyle were placed as random roommates at a production school. We were both injured athletes, and we found music as kind of our saving grace there. So day one, Kyle's like, "Yeah, I wrote my name backwards. I have this name. Like, you want to try to like make a project out of it?" We said, "Okay, yeah, sure." So that's how we got set up, and then we were already living in LA, and around 2 years later, we were like, why don't we make this like a three-piece here and see see how we can kind of push the needle or shift the needle in electronic music. And we met Trevor at a studio, super random. We kind of did this whole like head nod, what's up, and like it was a wrap.
Yeah, I was like engineering at the studio in Sherman Oaks, and then like Linus walked in, and like I kind of already knew of them and stuff a little bit, so but we just like hit it off immediately, and then they were like, yo, you want to work on some stuff together? And then like the next thing we did like blew up on YouTube, got like 13 million streams, views on YouTube. So then, yeah.
Now, how do you end up working with Loren? As I mentioned, we mentioned, some of the incredible following that you have, Loren. You were signed to Virgin Records. We have something in common. I worked for Virgin Records for 10 years. So we can talk about that another time. But Loren, how do you meet, or how do you come to team up with TELYKast to do this single?
So when I was with Virgin, I had a session set up with them. I started working with them, I think when I was 16. We started writing together, and we just hit it off and became really good friends, and we've been friends ever since. We hang out every other weekend. And yeah, they played me the song, and it's one of the only songs that I haven't written on that I've released. But I love the song, and they're incredibly talented, and I love working with them. So yeah.
Now, you started out on Musically, right? Singing cover songs. How do you go from singing cover songs or being on Musically to the stratosphere that you're in now, right? I mean, did you ever think you'd wake up one day and you'd have 50 million people or 2.8 billion likes?
No, so my whole thing actually started on accident. I was 13, uploading videos to Musically, which obviously sold to China and then became TikTok. And my Instagram started getting a bunch of followers. Didn't know where they were coming from because I was 13 in 8th grade going to school like everyone else. And I realized it was all coming from Musically, and that my Musically videos were going viral. So it was really crazy. It all happened at once. My videos were being played on talk shows in Japan. And then I actually went on tour for the first time when I was 13, and my mom came with me, and it was a social media tour. So it wasn't even like a music-based tour. There were musicians, but it was more of a meet and greet for the fans. And I decided last minute that I wanted to sing, which my parents were really nervous about because I never sang in front of anyone. And I went up there, I did it. I sang a cover of Riptide for 30 shows, and I fell in love with performing. And then I went to England and started doing a bunch of writing sessions and put out my first song, which was after I signed to Virgin, which I've since left. I'm now independent. And my first song went #1 on the global viral charts. And yeah, I've just been putting out music ever since, and now I'm independent and doing my own thing.
Now, can we see, you've got a great song, Nobody to Love, with TELYKast. Can we see future collaborations between the four of you?
Oh, of course. I love the guys. I love working with them. I mean, anything they want to do, I'm always down for. Yeah.
Yeah, we've written like so many songs together, and like we both kind of like, it was perfect timing for this song because we both had gotten out of our deals basically, and it just like worked out so well, and we turned it around like so quick, and then like it just felt so right because we'd been working together, like we were saying, for so long, that just like supernatural, you know.
I mentioned early on that you've collaborated with Alok, Griffin, CASTEE, Georgia Q. How do you go about finding the people that you're going to work with, right? I can see with a vocalist, you might be out there looking for a top liner or a writer, but when you work with some of these other like iconic producers, how does that come about?
Well, it starts with like writing it down on our whiteboard right here. But then yeah, it's like sending the songs to just like everybody we know, our whole like network. Eventually, like with the Cascade song, it was super interesting. It was a guy that we saw perform at a show, and we DM'd him, and then it turns out that he went on tour with Cascade.
Yeah, he was also one of his main producers. So it was just a crazy intro
sometimes
sequence.
You just put stuff out there and keep going, and eventually stuff kind of starts hitting. And then people send us top lines and stuff as well. So,
and I think for us, it's always been kind of a play of like how we can strategically keep elevating who we're working with each move that we make, and like really keep growing each time and expanding our network in terms of like who we can collab with, and just have had goals with each track and just try to keep moving forward with them.
Loren, you collaborated with Lost Kings. I was blessed to promote Anti-Everything, right? What was it like? What's it like for you working with various different producers?
It's really cool. I mean, I think I've built a lot of amazing friendships through working with people. Obviously, I come from a different industry. I started in social media, so branching out into music, sometimes it's hard to find people that will take the time to understand me and understand that I'm more than a selfie, and that I work really hard. Some people just don't care. But when you find the right people to work with, and like TELYKast and Lost Kings was a great one. And I also worked with Sweetie, who's a rapper, on another song that I did. I think it's all about finding people who understand and are just as passionate, and building real connections with people versus just, you know, putting together a song.
And you also early on in your career worked with Sweetie. Now, was that, how did that come about? Because that was before Success, right?
So that was probably, I want to say it was in 2019. So not too long ago, but we were both sort of on the same playing field in terms of where we were at in our careers. And it was a really great fit. I met her, and you know, she's young, she went to college, she's super intelligent and really sweet. So it was really cool because obviously she's more rap, R&B sort of leaning music, and cool to sort of lean into that side of things.
Now, we're in the midst of a pandemic that it sounds like we're about to come out of. When can we expect to, or should we expect to see TELYKast and Loren Gray performing somewhere in a club, at a festival?
We're hoping in the summer. It's definitely the goal. I think for a lot of bookings, at least at the moment, it's a lot of kind of like figuring out the festivals that were postponed are keeping most of the lineup. So for sure, I would say it's safe to say in the fall, if not a couple times in the summer, but definitely the goal.
Yeah.
Okay, so before, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just agreeing. Yeah.
So before I open it up to a couple of questions, because we're gonna segue in a minute over to our next set of guests, I want to thank everybody for joining the Promo Only Promotions One Music Ave call. I mean, Loren, there's a lot of people on this call in radio, remixes, producers, DJs. I'm the worst at social media. I mean, I only did a Facebook page less than a year ago, right? So what's advice you could give to people on how to build their brand, whether it's on Instagram or whether it's on YouTube, or what would you suggest?
So the number one thing that I always tell people, especially coming from a business side of things, is know your brand and know your audience. I feel like a lot of times people try to cater to the wrong things just because something's trending or because something seems to be working for other people. For me, I established my brand very early on in who I am, and I stuck with it, and I know my audience, and I stayed consistent. Consistency is a huge thing that a lot of people forget about. You can't just post one thing and expect it to blow up. You gotta, you know, stay consistent, even if one thing doesn't work. Keep it pushing, keep going. Because I post things sometimes that don't work, and you just gotta keep trying. So yeah, know your audience, know your brand, and stay consistent and creative.
Well, I definitely want to thank the four of you, TELYKast and Loren Gray, for spending a couple of minutes with us today. You know, we definitely would love to have you back on at a future date. We look forward to being able to see you in the future. You know, I appreciate Nick, the manager, you know, who's on this call, for arranging for you guys to be on the call. You know, continued success. If there's any last comment that you guys want to mention, you know, feel free to say whatever. I'm sure we're going to send over a list of liner requests for the four of you to record, especially now that PJ is starting to work the mix show DJs on getting this record rolling. So thank you, Loren. Thank you, Kyle, Trevor, and Linus for joining. You know, you're welcome to stay on if you want.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Continued success. Stay safe.
Likewise. Thank you, guys.
And
Yeah,
happy birthday again, Loren.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Pleasure.
All right. Thank
Thank you, Loren. Thank you, guys.
All right.
All righty. So thank you to Loren Gray and TELYKast.